is the goal for the next 5 years?
Uh, my goal remains the same as it has been for the last 30 years. Um, I'll tell you something I heard at the Japan Auto Show, Tokyo Motor Show, in 2001, I believe. Rosabeth Moss Cantor was the anchor, and she was asking a Honda CEO, um, basically, why would Honda exist? And Honda is a company I greatly admire. And I will never forget what he said. He said, Honda will exist because society will want Honda to exist. You know.
Okay.
So the way I see our task and my job is simply this, that we have to give people a reason to permit us to be along. Now, in marketing terms, that's called differentiation or having a unique selling proposition. And to that objective, our goal as Bajaj has been to have a unique business model of being the world's most versatile motorcycle maker. We never said to ourselves we'll be the biggest motorcycle maker or the most profitable motorcycle maker or the best motorcycle maker, whatever that means. We said the most versatile. Now, this has implications for markets because, for example, we are a market leader in Africa at one end of the spectrum, selling motorcycles for as little as $500 and trying to make money on them. And we are also a participant in the high performance markets of Europe, for example, selling a 7,000 euro motorcycle and, of course, making a lot of money out of that. So, whether it's your choice of markets, your brands, your brand architecture, your product platforms, and the modularity in production, and of course the skills of your people, all of these are directly influenced by your choice of strategy. So my job, as I have understood it or defined it for myself, has been to enable Bajaj to be the most versatile motorcycle maker in the world. And I think to a large extent we've been able to achieve that.
Definitely, you're present in perhaps the entire range of price points and product categories. But now, when you look at the next 5 years, will Pulsar continue to be your bread and butter, your 70%er, or will it shift to the 400cc? Will it shift to EV? What do you think will be the running your best horses?
Well, sometimes people ask me when you look back on 35 years at Bajaj, uh, how do you see it? And I say to them that Bajaj has been through 2.5 transitions.
Okay.
The first big transition was from a scooter company to a motorcycle company. And today, motorcycles are the majority of what we do. They are at the center of our strategy. And then everything else is connected around that. So that's one big transition we made. And it wasn't just scooters to motorcycles, it was 1960s scooters to this century's motorcycles. So a huge shift in technology, not just in the form factor. The second big shift we made, as you just mentioned, is from being a domestic company. I mean, when I joined, 100% of what we made was sold here, to now being present in exactly 100 countries, and to be in a position to understand each market, because every market is different, people are different, competition is different, distribution is different. So this has been a second big transition that we've had to make. And the reason I say 2.5 is because now we are in the middle of the third transition from ICE to EVs. And that's why when, say, a few years back, there was all this noise around whether legacy makers, as we are often unkindly referred to, will make it, or whether it will be only the startups' prerogative, who I refer to as upstarts. And my point was, it's not about one thing or another. It's about a company demonstrating what Charles Darwin said, that it's not the strongest or the most intelligent of a species that survives, it's the one that are most adaptive to change. I think this company has demonstrated repeatedly that it can adapt to significant changes. So the short answer is, it doesn't matter whether people move from scooters to motorcycles or back, from 100cc bikes to bigger ones or back, from ICE to EV or back, Bajaj will adapt.
Well, that's really a great strategy. And, you've taken away my pet question. I actually started this series with KV Kamath, and I told him that my next guest is going to be Rajiv Bajaj. And he said, "Oh, you should ask him about his father." Rahul Bajaj told me with a twinkle in his eye. I was very angry with Rajiv. I didn't want the transition from scooters. I mean, apparently, you all disagreed violently. And his happiness was, my son bested me. He said that with pride. So the lesson is that you're going to always remain nimble, adaptable. Is that the big strategy of your lesson of the 30s of the 30 years?
Yes, I think so. Again, if I have to lean on Soichiro Honda, the founder of Honda Motor Company, Soichiro Honda said, "It is not the manufacturer; it is the customer that develops the market." You know, uh, I see this very vividly in Africa. Whether markets will remain small or grow big, whether they will want the cheapest stuff or they will want quality stuff, whether service will be important or not, who determines this? It is not a manufacturer's policy. It is what the consumer is willing to absorb. As Rumi said, you don't sow, the earth receives. And in that sense, it was not up to my father or me or anybody else. We can only respond to the reality of the marketplace. And I would, of course, I have great respect for Mr. Kamath. I'm quite in awe of him. But I would say this, that in 1993, 3 years after I joined the company, I think my father really gave me purpose and direction. Because I went to him, I had been working for 3 years. Everything was fine at Bajaj. There was no crisis. And I didn't know how to make myself useful. So I said to him in 93, I went to his office and I said, what do you want me to do here? Of course, he wanted me to go to Harvard Business School. And I'm the only one in my family that never went to business school. But that's a different story. And he said to me, I will say to you what my father said to me, which is, do what you think best, but be the best in what you do. And I thought, that's nice, but what does it mean? And then I thought that what he probably means to be the best is to be a global player. Be the best in the world in whatever it is you choose to do. And to be the best in the world and not just in one market, I realized the value of what is my favorite marketing mantra from Al Ries, which is narrow your focus. So if you are doing sport in India, you can excel in half a dozen sports. But if you want to be a world champion, we all know that you have to really narrow your focus. And that's where that sowed the seeds of the beginning of Bajaj becoming a motorcycle company. Because then we said to ourselves, if we want to be the best in the world in something, where is the biggest opportunity? Where is the size of the prize the most significant? And it was motorcycles. And so we said, with singular focus, that we are going to chase this dream. And people often say to me that, were you not anxious that, you're putting everything behind one thing, and if it doesn't work, what happens? And I say to them that, look, focus and fragmentation are two sides of the same coin. A lot of people, in trying to make a virtue out of their indecisiveness, say that we are de-risking ourselves by doing multiple things, but you end up spreading yourself thin and you don't make an impact in any particular area. So I would actually say to Kamath sir that my father gave me purpose and direction with that one sentence he said to me that day. And that got me going on the path for the last 30 years.